This is the Washington Times front page for Thursday, August 26th, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The massive U.S. military-led airlift from Kabul is turning toward a rocky homestretch, with the Biden administration laying out its plan to save the final 1,500 Americans stuck in Afghanistan over the coming days. Pentagon correspondent Ben Wolfgang reports Secretary of State Antony Blinken finally offered clarity on the number of Americans still in the country, 1,500, as well as how many have been evacuated, about 4,500. Many of the remaining evacuees are reported to be trapped behind Taliban lines and likely dependent on U.S. military rescue missions to get out before the president's self-imposed August 31st deadline for withdrawal. Blinken said the administration is in contact with about 500 Americans wanting to leave Afghanistan, and U.S. officials are scrambling to reach another 1,000 who are thought to be in the country. Hundreds may be outside of Kabul, making the task of getting them safely to the Afghan capital's airport exceedingly dangerous. Staying in Afghanistan, administration officials are downplaying the threat of a resurgent al-Qaeda under Taliban rule in Afghanistan, but security analysts and others say the terrorists will become more active now. Military reporter Mike Glenn reports the U.S. intelligence community is trying to determine whether the Taliban can be trusted to share information about extremist terrorist groups and prevent them from flourishing in Afghanistan. A report from the United Nations Security Council said a significant part of al-Qaeda's senior leadership remains in the border region of Afghanistan and Pakistan. As part of their new public relations campaign, Taliban leaders claim to have no interest in affiliation with al-Qaeda, but waves of terrorist bombings of Afghan civilians over the past year have triggered scrutiny of the Taliban. The intelligence community also remembers that the Taliban refused to turn over al-Qaeda fighters to the United States after the 9/11 attacks, even after then-President George W. Bush said any nation harboring al-Qaeda would be regarded as a terrorist state. The proliferation of mandates for COVID-19 shots is increasing after the full authorization of Pfizer's two-shot vaccine, as companies start to consider their bottom line as part of their health calculations. Tom Howe reports Delta Airlines said it plans to impose a $200 per month fee on unvaccinated employees that are enrolled in the company's healthcare plan as of November 1st. Delta CEO Ed Bastian said the average hospital stay for COVID-19 has cost the company $50,000 per person, making the fee necessary. United Airlines also told its employees to be fully vaccinated by September 27th or face termination. Many insurers say they will no longer cover copays for COVID-19 treatment because hospitalized patients are predominantly unvaccinated. More than half of the U.S. population has opted for vaccination, and the FDA's full approval of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is giving companies confidence to create mandates as the Delta variant of the coronavirus threatens to upend fall plans. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Don't have access to the Times yet? Visit WashingtonTimes.com/George and get 25% off your annual subscription. On immigration, a Supreme Court ruling this week reviving the so-called Remain in Mexico policy sent shockwaves through the immigration debate. Stephen Dinan reports the justices, in a 6-3 ruling, declined to issue a stay of a lower court injunction that found the Biden team acted too rashly in erasing the Trump-era Remain in Mexico policy, thus violating the Administrative Procedure Act. The policy was used to solve the 2019 border surge, but the Biden administration argued it was too cruel to migrants. By refusing to overrule the lower court, the justices signaled that they would give judges significant leeway to settle disputes over the expanding use of executive power. And finally, Israel remains America's closest Middle East ally, but there are likely to be disagreements when Prime Minister Naftali Bennett makes his first visit to the White House. Guy Taylor reports Biden administration officials say the meeting will show U.S.-Israeli unity, but Bennett has already vowed to press the president to stop trying to revive the Obama-era Iran nuclear deal. The Prime Minister's 2-day visit to Washington will also include discussions on other fronts, including with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and follow us for free on all your favorite podcast platforms. Just search Washington Times. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WashTimes for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.